So a lot of people have been so stuck in sin, and then they identify as sinners that it makes it easier for them to justify their sin, and they don't reflect on it. They just stay in that cycle of hurting people because they are themselves hurt. So they will say something negative about me because it's easier for me. It's easy for me as a man, as a weak man, succumbing to my lower self, to slander someone else as opposed to thinking about, you know what that person said hurt my feelings. And this has happened to me with Rami. I had a lot of respect for Rami Salam El, and obviously as a human being I still do. But I allowed my hurt as a brother, because I seen him as a brother. I allowed my pain as a brother to overcome my senses, and I got into a back and forth argument with him, and I've called him out of his name disrespectfully a few times, and that was me being in my lower self, and I was justifying it wrongfully, right? So that's just part of human nature. That we're all humans with flaws. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the Quran is so important, because it warns us against those things. And I believe if I had that, understanding what backbiting is and understanding what slandering is, because Prophet Muhammad talked about backbiting, and they some of the companions asked, well, is it backbiting if what we're saying about the person is true? And he said, yeah, it still is, because no one wants to hear anything bad about themselves, even if it's true, right? So if we're supposed to have this brotherhood within Islam, or this brotherhood within our nation of Moors, then we shouldn't always say, oh, well, you're bad at this, or you're whatever. You know what I'm saying? Negative comments are so easy to say. It's very difficult to say positive things. So anytime you say anything negative about someone, it automatically puts them on the defense, to where they either come back at you or they don't. And I, wrongfully so, engaged in the back and forth, and I shouldn't have. That's just human nature. That's the lower self, right? And the Quran tells us that our lower self, Shaitan, is an open enemy to us. Prophet Noble Jali tells us the same thing. The lower self is everything that breeds hatred and slander and pain and destruction. And when we speak negative things to our brother, that severs the bonds of brotherhood. It doesn't matter if it shouldn't have mattered if he disagreed with the Second Amendment. What bothered me was that he called me a terrorist, and I should have just let it slide, because I know I'm not. I've never terrorized anybody in my life. But being hurt by my brother, I responded, and I shouldn't have. And this is just a human thing, right? It even says in the Quran, when it says when Allah is addressing Muhammad directly, he says, "Oh Muhammad, I know what they say hurts your heart. I know it, because Allah knows what's in the hearts." He says, "I know it hurts. I know it hurts you, but don't worry about it. The disbelievers are planning, but I'm the best of planners. Don't worry about it. Just stay focused on the truth." And that's what we as Moors are supposed to do. And obviously, I slipped up, and that's just what it is. Should never slandered them. Should never got engaged in that.
All right. So I saw the clip, and initially I was going to wait until after their court case to speak on some personal feelings or thoughts about the Rise of the Moors group, just because I've been reporting on the case and doing my best to be objective and not have my personal feelings or opinions mixed in. But then on the flip side, I've been participating in Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum to the Muslim brothers and sisters out there. If you're participating, stay strong. We're almost to the finish line. But I've been participating, and I was reflecting on, what I should do in this scenario. And I felt like it's more important for me to try to put forth some positive energy, some love and respect. So that's main reason why I'm making the video now. First and foremost, I want to make it clear to Jahmal, supporters of the Rise of the Moors, or the Rise of the Moor militia group members, or friends, or whoever may be watching this, that was saying the disrespectful things about me and my family. I forgive you. I'm not holding that or any hate towards you or anyone that was saying those things. So please know that. And I respect that you, after some time, were able to realize some decisions that you made that may not have been the best. particularly as it relates to me. The second thing that I wanted to say real quick is just to clarify that I don't disagree with the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment that's what it is. But what I do say and how I do feel is that I do not advocate or promote the idea of getting guns and being violent with weapons. That's not something that I personally advocate. But the Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. It's not up. It's not about whether I agree or disagree with the Second Amendment, and I don't disagree with it. I just disagree with getting guns. I just personally don't subscribe to that. You know what I mean? But that's my personal belief. That's how I choose to roll. And the third thing, and this is a little more complex, and I don't want to really get too deep into the... Well, actually, let me play a clip of myself from a little while ago. Then I'll come back and finish up. Can you call him? Sheikh asked, can I call him? I presume you're speaking about Jahmal. And the answer is no, I cannot call him. And I can explain why I cannot call him. Because that person is promoting, has threatened, has shown that he is ready to commit violent acts with guns, laughing about it, showing off training and training other people in a very radical and dangerous and hostile manner towards the government and other people.
I think these people want people to start waking up and realizing, oh shit, when I took an oath to support the defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that means anyone part of the democratic anything promoting a two-party system is a domestic enemy. Any organization, FBI, CIA, state police, local police, municipal police, county police, fighting against American citizens is a terrorist organization, a domestic enemy, which every single sworn person in the military took an oath to fight against. Which, that sign says, if you try to come into my house without a warrant, you will be shot. Like I said earlier, if the FBI tries to do an illegal search...
Or neutralize you?
Yeah, or neutralize me while I'm at home. We got slugs. Hold on, wait. We got 5562. Hold on, wait. We got 40s. I got regular 40, hollow point, regular 40, hollow point, regular 40, hollow point. So however they want it, they can get it. Part of why I told Moors to sue in federal court is so that we have proof of their unwillingness to help us bring justice when we're trying to do it the civil way. Yes. So that way we can have two options. One, go to the UN or some other body or get allies from another nation to help us bring justice. Mm-hmm. Or when we start invoking justice according to how they've been mistreating us, mm-hmm. no one can say anything because we tried to do it with our First Amendment right, civilly. So they forced our hand to use our Second Amendment right. The Second Amendment means no more than that it shall not be infringed by Congress and has no other effect than to restrict the powers of the government. So it doesn't grant you the right to have this. All it does is says that the federal government can't say you can't have this. Our Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior, teaches you to fight. There's a time for war and a time for peace. There's a time to kill and a time to heal. So why do you think when our people get murdered, that is a peaceful time?
I don't want any association with any kinds of people like that whatsoever. That's why I'm making this video, to make it very clear that I have nothing to do with those kinds of people and those kinds of actions. As Moorish Americans, we are not to be doing that at all. And we are supposed to keep away and not endanger ourselves by people like that. So no, I do not want to call and speak with him. I would love for nothing further but to make it as clear as possible that I am as far away from that ideology and those teachings of Jahmal and the rise of the Moors as possible. They're teaching against what Noble Drew Ali taught. They're doing their own thing. And I want to make it clear so that when the karma, when the consequences of their actions start to unfold, we, true Moors, true Moorish Americans, are not caught up in that. Because, I'm gonna put some humor into this, but let me also say this. This is a very serious situation. And the things some of these people are doing, like the rise of the Moors and Jahmal, it can and it will get Moors and Moorish Americans harmed and possibly killed, possibly imprisoned. So I do want to make it very clear to protect you and your family, especially our children. You do not want to get caught up in the foolishness that they are representing. There's no joking about that. Cool? All right. Now, I can find more clips, but the gist of what I was saying then and what I'm saying now is for Moorish Americans, true Moors, people in general, to not associate yourself with any organization, be it the Rise of the Moors or any organization, group, or people that are doing actions such as driving without a license, owning guns without the proper registration and license, trying to take over houses and property without paying, saying that you are above the law or that the government doesn't have jurisdiction. All of those kinds of things, if you associate yourself with those organizations that promote that or with those people that advocate and push that and are doing that, then you will be associated and you may be identified as a domestic terrorist, as a sovereign citizen, not based on my opinion or how I feel, but based on what the government has already said. They have created this term, sovereign citizen, domestic terrorism, and then they have put criteria or put the different kinds of activities that those people that they identify as sovereign citizens or domestic terrorists, that's what they do. They have created a list, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to read it for yourself. But that's already out there. And what I was saying, or what I was doing my best to say back then, this is before the Rise of the Moors got caught up in their stuff. And since then, is don't associate yourself with groups or with people that are advocating or promoting those kinds of activities, because you will end up being associated with domestic terrorism or with sovereign citizens, just as the Rise of the Moors became associated with domestic terrorism and sovereign citizens. Not based on how I feel or because I made the association, but that's what the government already laid out. And that is, it's just, to me, it's common sense, or it's being logical and being rational. Now, I thought, just to be clear, I thought I was clear about my stance on that. But if that was taken as me identifying Jahmal or Rise of the Moors as domestic terrorists or as sovereign citizens, then I apologize for not making that distinction more clear. Again, if you are doing those kinds of activities, trying to drive without a license or claim property that you didn't pay for, or claim that the government doesn't have jurisdiction over you, claim that you're sovereign and none of the laws apply to you. If you are talking those kinds of things, you can check the link for more information. But if you are associating and you are practicing those kinds of activities or that kind of ideology, I'm warning you, again, warning you that you will end up being associated with domestic terrorism and sovereign citizens. And Moorish Americans, true Moors, people that are members of the Moor Science Temple of America, we are law-abiding citizens. We respect our government. We respect the laws. We follow the laws. We don't believe that we are above the jurisdiction, or that the government doesn't have jurisdiction over us, or any of those things, or any of the ideology that sovereign citizens or domestic terrorists may support or promote or push. Just to make that clear, moving forward. So if you see, and this is for anybody now, if you see someone who is claiming themselves to be a Moor or a Moorish American and they're pushing that ideology, please understand that they are completely separate from what Noble Drew Ali taught, what the Moor Science Temple of America is about, what Moorish Americans are about. They are doing their own thing, separate entity, separate organization, separate ideology. They may use some of the terms, some of the terminology, wear some of the things like the fez, may identify as a Bay or an L, may call themselves a Moor or a Moorish American even. They may do those things, but understand if they are associating themselves or they are promoting or advocating any of the sovereign citizen ideology or domestic terrorism ideology, they're doing anything like that, please understand they are completely separate. True Moorish Americans are not associated with that, don't want to be associated with that, nothing to do with it whatsoever. Are we clear? Are we clear? All right. So I hope I made that clear. I hope I made the distinction clear. Man, and I hope if you're a Moorish American and you have been advocating or promoting that stuff, you get away from that. Yeah, and I think that's all I really wanted to say. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. We'll close out. I'll make another video about some other stuff real soon. Much love. Keep shining. Love instead of hate. Love is the key. Love is the way. Peace to you and yours. Let's have a great day.